goodness.
But it's surreal being here, sharing the stage with you all, because I'm here off of a decision I made 7 years ago, another defining moment in my life. Coming off of the 2011 convention, where the entire company's conference was about this size, I made the decision that in November of 2011, I would leave personal training and pursue Young Living as a full-time career. A business based on sales and marketing, and I was 22 with zero sales and marketing background. And I left with hope. I made that decision because I knew that my life as a personal trainer, I knew what it would look like. I knew what my income would be like. I knew what my lifestyle would be like. And I was motivated by the future me, this guy, that I wanted to take a career that would allow me time freedom, flexibility, and be able to earn what I felt I was worth. It wasn't easy. There was lots of trials and tribulations along the way. But I thought of this as being, at 22 years old, most people my age, if they're not happy with their career, their job, they're going to go to school for another 4+ years, get a different education, and then hopefully have a better outcome. And I looked at Young Living. If I applied myself with the same mindset, effort, intensity that a college student would take going into a new program, and I truthfully applied myself for 4 years with that level of effort, that if the outcome of that was not having a boatload of student loan debt and being able to control my life on my own terms, and at that point my dreams was if I could make $3,000 a month from home without taking on debt after 4 years, that seemed like it was a winning scenario for me. Now, it worked out better for me than I initially anticipated. I didn't have the biggest dreams and aspirations to be where I'm at now. I didn't know this was possible, but we have a great team, and throughout the next year and a half, we slowly but steadily built some momentum, built some culture, and by the 2013 convention, we had a rapidly growing team. I was walking the stage as a diamond, and life seemed like it was great. And it was at that time I met an individual who changed my life forever. You want to see Mom? Thank you. 3 minutes, new record. It was the summer of 2013. I read a book, ironically called The 4-Year Career, My Initial Mindset. If I put 4 years in this business, was the outcome worth it? And so I read the book called The 4-Year Career, and in the back of the book it said, if you like this book and you want to make a custom edition for your team and your company, reach out. And so I reached out, and in very fast time got a response directly from the author, Bliss, Brooke, and I was quite taken aback that I got a response so quick and from the author. And so we put together the Young Living edition of the 4-Year Career, sold very well. It helped us in our recruiting and business building efforts, and it set me up for a meeting. August of 2013, I reached out and said, hey, if I came down to Coeur d'Alene, would you make some time for me to maybe sit and pick your brain? And he said yes. So I made a 9-hour trip one way from Red Deer, Alberta to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I drove down, and I got the opportunity to sit with this man for an hour. I felt like I was going on a date. I was really nervous. I drove up to the wrong gate to get in. It was raining. I remember the weather. I remember how nervous I was. And we got to sit for a little over an hour and just learn from him. I read his story in the book, and that he started his business in his 20s and had almost 40 years of network marketing experience. I thought, if I could learn from somebody who has so much wisdom, life experience, and knowledge around my chosen career path, if I can learn what he did right and wrong, I could drastically decrease my learning curve in my career. And so that 1-hour meeting fueled what turned into another meeting and another meeting. And soon I got to call him a mentor, and more importantly, a friend. And I know when you start to have success in life, especially young, I know how important it is to stay grounded and stay focused on your goals, and it's really easy to get caught up, especially if you start making pretty good money. And so I attribute a lot of my ability to stay focused on the desired outcome, on my true life vision and plan to this man. And it's really helped me to become the person I am. If I had not met him at this point in my career, even though we had rapid momentum, we had a great team of leaders running our business, I was 24 years old, making really good money, and it would have been very easy for me. I've seen it happen time and time again, where you outgrow your own personal development. I'm sure you've heard many times, your business will only grow as fast as you do, and if your business ever exceeds where you're at, I've seen so many times where the business will shrink back to where your development is at. So I could have been in a very troublesome situation had I not ran into this individual. And I'm so excited for you today, because here we are, 5 years later from that first coffee meeting, and he's going to be here to share an hour with you today. You'll have that same experience that I did without maybe driving 9 hours one way. It's not even raining today, so that's even better. And I really encourage you, stay off of social media. Double down on the content he's going to lay out here for you. You can take pictures, but be as fully present as possible, because I know for me, the hour that I got with him changed my life. And everyone here, all 2,600 of you who are here in the room today, you now will have the opportunity to hear from this man for the next hour, and I hope and know it has the possibility to change your life. This man is a friend. He is a mentor. He's got over 4 years of experience in network marketing, both as a company owner and as a distributor, and he has so much heart and passion to pour into you here today. So please give a warm Canadian welcome to the man, Richard Bliss Brooke.
What I'd really love more than anything right now is the clicker. Till I get the clicker. Thank you. So I put together this beautiful PowerPoint. Spent about a week on it, had my team working on it. Kind of last minute, a lot of stuff going on. What is today? Sunday? So I think Friday afternoon, I sent it to somebody, said, you got to send this to legal. So I sent it to legal, probably sent them like 30 slides. And they sent this one back. This is all I got. This is the only one they approved. Basically what they're saying is everything I'm going to say for the next 45 minutes is my opinion, and Young Living disavows themselves from any responsibility for what I said. That's all right. So I snuck this slide in. Actually, they did. It's the income disclosure statement. So I think I was dreaming this is where I came up with this little shtick about they got rid of all my slides. I think I was dreaming it, and I was thinking, well, what if they did get rid of all my slides and the only thing I had were 2 disclaimers? First one is, this is all Richard's opinion, don't pay any attention to it. And the second one is, this is how much money everybody in Young Living makes. So I can work with that. In fact, I think I can build, in fact, we are building an empire here in Young Living, and I think I can do it with just like 2 slides. One is the income disclosure statement. The cool thing about Young Living's income disclosure statement is in every other company that I know of in this profession, the sales leaders hide it. Like the worst thing for them is when kind of the legal platform or environment for network marketing said, hey, if you're going to talk about lifestyle or you're going to mention any kind of money at all, you got to show everybody what the average people are earning. And so everybody just hid that, and nobody wanted to show it. They were embarrassed by it. All they did was apologize for it. So I'm thinking with Young Livings, we really only need a 2-slide opportunity meeting. The first one is the income disclosure statement, and the second one is maybe a picture of a tree. You you could ask the prospect, when is the best time to plant a tree?
Now.
Well, actually, the answer to that, according to the cliche that I read, is like 10 years ago. When would have been the best time to start your Young Living business? 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, hey, how about a year ago? Or if you haven't yet, now. And then the third slide would be, what is your credit card number? 3 slides. Income disclosure statement. When's the best time to plant a tree? Like if you're looking for a brevity presentation, just try this. When's the best time to plant a tree? What is your credit card number? Expiration date, billing, zip code. Story. You like stories? I got lots of stories. So this is a brief story for those of you. I know some of you have heard it, some of you haven't heard it. Most of you I don't think have heard it. How Kimmy and I ended up in Young Living. So there's some great lessons for you. And if you think about the distinctions, I'll point out the lessons as I go along so you don't have to figure out what they are. But if you pay attention to the lessons in our story and then you map them onto the rest of what I'm going to talk about this morning, you ought to be able to leave here in a totally different state with a new plan, new level of conviction, new, like Ben said about Gary, a new vision. And that is the purpose of the National Convention, is for you to come, get a new vision, leave at a higher level so you go produce more of the vision, right? So here's how Kimmy and I ended up in Young Living. I've always had 2 businesses. Like, you probably listen to Adam's story and say, well, okay, what's the deal there? How's all that work? Well, I've been in network marketing for, I think, 42 years now, full-time. I started when I was 22, same age as Adam. I built a big team in a company, like 30,000 people. By the time I was 28 years old, I was making $40,000 a month. That was like 1980. Probably pretty good money today. Picked the wrong company. Lesson. You do have that one covered. So think about it, though, when you're talking to people. What if people actually go out and they actually go through that, they get that breakthrough that we're all looking for, where we actually, all the lights come on and our belief lights up and we change our story, we have an epiphany, it's our defining moment. Our intention is that it happens for you here this weekend. If it hasn't already happened, you walk out of here and you go light it up. And you start calling people and messaging people and apping people and you start sharing powerfully. And you get all your friends and business associates and anybody ever sitting next to you on an airplane involved in your team. And then the deal goes out of business. Oh my gosh. So, do you know how many people that join network marketing ever think about that before they join the company they join? There is a percentage. What percentage of people ever do due diligence on a company? Like, if I build this, will they pay me forever? You know what percentage of people ever do that due diligence? 2%. There's a percentage. None. Nobody ever. They just signed up. They get all excited and sign up. Well, I did that. I got all excited and signed up. I actually built for 9 years, got paid for 12 years. All of a sudden, it's over. So then I wised up. I said, well, this can't happen again, so what I have to do is own my own company, which I did from 1986 until 2017. I owned my own network marketing company. And for the last 25 years, I've also, kind of parallel to my own network marketing company, had a tools and coaching and training business for network marketers. Why? Well, because my people wouldn't listen to me anymore. So I went out and said, hey, you ever heard me talk? And they go, no. So I had this business going for like 25 years, and when Kimmy and I got married, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years, whatever, 5, I think our anniversary is 4 years. 4 years coming up. December 29th. So when Kimmy joined me, we sort of spooled up the coaching and retreat and training business, and then something started happening. We have these retreats, and Adam has been to one, and so one of the things that we noticed in these retreats, which had nothing to do with our network marketing company, this was our training and coaching business, we just noticed that about half of the people at our retreats were Young Living people. And we just, it's like snuck up on us. It'd probably been happening for a couple of years, but we just didn't pay any attention. And so we would ask these Young Living people that were our retreats, we'd say, so, what company are you in? And they'd say, oh, Young Living. Oh, yeah. And how long have you been in Young Living? And usually they'd say something like, 37 years, but I only started building 18 months ago. The lesson, that's one of the other lessons. I lost track of what the numbers are, but that's the lesson. And so we say, oh, well, what happened when you started building? And you know what they'd all have a different variation of it, but they tell us a story about their defining moment, their epiphany. They listened to an audio, they read a book, they went to an event, they got on a webinar, they heard it from somebody in a way where all the lights went on, and they said, oh yeah, I got it, that the real opportunity here is to build a team. And so we would ask them, so what rank are you? And they would say ranks, and we didn't really know what those were. And so then we would ask them, so there's only 10 people at a retreat, it's pretty intimate, we have a big privacy thing. So we say, so, how much money are you making after 18 months? Young Living distributor. They say things like, $9,000 a month, $12,000 a month, $4,000 a month. We had people say, I'm a diamond, how long have you been in Young Living? Oh, I've been building for like 3.5 years. Well, what do you earn? Like $35,000 a month, $80,000 a month. So we still didn't get it. We didn't. And so, I should have got it, because the number one client of this coaching, tools, mentoring, retreat business was this kid. By that time, he was making $100,000 a month. We just weren't paying attention. We had our own company, right? So anyway, we started paying attention. We started asking some questions. A couple other interesting things happened where I should have got it. I don't know. Adam probably knows this. Maybe like 4 years ago, I went to Calgary. Adam asked me to come to Calgary. He says, I'm putting on an oil summit. I said, oh, like for the oil field workers? What is that, oil summit? He said, yeah, something like that. Just would you come up and speak? So I went to Calgary, and I had like 1,000 people there for 2 or 3 days. And I should have paid attention there, but I didn't. I just flew in, did what I do, and flew out. Then a couple other things happened that were like big clues. Success leaves clues. Our Creator sometimes, whatever your beliefs are, either the universe or our creators, sometimes they leave really big breadcrumbs designed that we might trip over them. So I can tell you a couple of breadcrumbs. I just walked right over them, never paid any attention. So I don't know how long ago this was. I'm going to say this was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like Adam and I are GoPro. And GoPro's over, and Adam and I are going to, we're going to have lunch with Kimmy and a couple other top leaders in a different company. Just lunch. We're walking down the hallway, and I credit a guy named John Hammock for partially having us end up here. So Adam and I are walking down the hallway at GoPro. We're going to the restaurant. Here comes John Hammock. John Hammock's been in network marketing forever. He's from Dallas. He's done all kinds of different things. And so John and I had the first time we'd seen each other. Hey, John, how you doing? Hey, John, let me introduce you to Adam Green. He's with Young Living. This is exactly what happened from the moment I said, I want you to meet Adam Green from Young Living. John Hammock says, you got any abundance?
I didn't bring abundance along this weekend. What was I doing?
Now, at that time, I'd been full-time in network marketing for 38 years. I had never, ever, ever seen a competitor in network marketing meet a competitor in another company and ask them, do you have any of your products on you? So Adam, he like pulls some little satchel out of his coat pocket. He says, well, in fact, I just happen to have my own personal supply, and he took the bottle out, and he says, looks like it might be half left. And I don't know if John offered him money or Adam told him, I don't forget, but I think it was like $20 for Adam's dregs, his used, here's what I've been having my fingers on for the last 2 weeks. I'll sell it to you for $20. John Hammond gives him $20. Adam puts some on first. Gives this guy a used bottle product. At that time, I'm in 42 years now. At that time, about 38 years full time. Pretty keen, pretty sharp about the whole network marketing thing. So we go to lunch. I mean, if you believe in God, this is God talking to me. Hey, Brooke, I want to wake up and smell the abundance. We go to lunch. We're sitting at lunch. I'm sitting here at the table. Gimmy's sitting here. Adam is sitting there. Brian Carruthers and Melissa Carruthers sitting here. So I'm like looking this way at lunch. There's two ladies over here. They're about where is that Adele right there? I don't know. Is that Daryl right there? They're about that far away. They're sitting there. Throughout the whole lunch, they keep looking at me. They could looking over at me and guy talking. 38 years full-time network marketing. We're GoPro. It's kind of hard for me to move GoPro without people going, excuse me, are you Richard? So for the whole lunchtime, I'm thinking, are they going to come and interrupt our lunch and ask me for a picture? That's what I'm thinking. They get done with lunch before we get done with lunch. Here they come. I like taking pictures. It's cool. It's all right. I'm making fun of it, but So here they come. They're coming over. They're going to interrupt. They want a picture. Okay, great. Awesome. They come over. You know what they say? No, they say, who is wearing what? Exactly what they say. You ask Adam, who's wearing what? Kimmy and I looked at each other. I said, I'm not wearing anything. I wearing Brooke in sophomore in high school, and I put a half a bottle on me, went out on a date, and the girl was like, I quit wearing it. Brian Carruthers and Melissa, no, we're not wearing anything. Adam's sitting there like 6 canaries and all their feathers coming out of his mouth. He didn't have any more product. They traded cards. He probably didn't follow up, but So anyway, long story short, which all my stories are long. We got to digging around in Adam's back office. We finally got a little bit smart, and we said, hey, Adam, what is the deal here with oils? And so first thing we thought is, well, it's the oils. So I know a lot of people in the industry, a lot of owners, a lot of CEOs. So I called half a dozen people that I know that have recently, and at that time, in the last 4 or 5 years, added like the 10 most popular oils to their product suite. And I said, hey, how did that adding the oil division, how did that do for you? Did that make a big difference? You know what they said to a person? In fact, since then I've actually looked and inquired. You know what it is to a company? Companies that add oils, like trying to copy, oils are big, we'll add oils. You know what it does for their sales? It's another percentage. Nothing. Didn't do anything for their sales. So we go back to Adam and say, okay, it's not oils, Adam. It's something more than oils. It's something, and here's what I would liken it to. I would liken it to like your great-grandmother's recipe for meatloaf or soup or whatever. You may have the list of what's in it, but if you don't have the magic and the love and the history and the passion and the genius of what we cake, hey, if you don't have it, what's it taste like? It's like something's missing, right? So anyway, we're digging around in Adam's dashboard. I'm asking Adam, so what's this number? What's this? I'm all about numbers. And so I said, what's that number? And as I recall, I embellish. And sometimes once you embellish once, then you start listening to your own embellishment. And as I recall, it was 46%. And I've come down, because the first year I told this story, I think I said 56%. And I brought it down. As I recall, it was 46%. So I asked him, I said, how do you calculate that number? We're just digging around through numbers. He says this, I'll never forget in my body how every cell in my body responded to him saying this about 46%. He said, that is the percentage of people that have ever joined my team that were active on Essential Rewards last month at $100 a month or more. And I had an immediate, like not as something that you think, but an immediate reactional, like bodily response that the intention was to articulate a male cow, an uncastrated male cow, defecating in the field. He said, nope, that's my percentage right here. It says right here, you have to prove it. Anyway, so that started a whole dialogue, and basically, to make a long story short, I'm supposed to be on this slide. Kimmy and I just looked at, okay, what are we doing here? We're leading people down a 4-year career. We're leading them down a path. And our retention, by the way, everybody that we'd ever put in our company, if you tracked them like on a 7-year period, which was Adam's 7-year run, our retention rate was 8. Adam's was 46. Young Living's, according to what I understood, was 42% as a company. 42 versus 8. So some people say, well, how did you end up in Young Living? It was a very simple decision. As much as we loved owning our own company and being able to call the shots and blah, 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 we were leading our tribe down a very long, dark, lonely road at 8% retention. By the way, that's my favorite product. You don't get it quite yet. People ask me all the time, oh, what's your favorite product? I say, I don't know. It's like 6,000 of them. I don't know. I haven't gone through them all yet. But this is my favorite product, 42. What's that? 42% retention. Why is that your favorite product? Because I'm here for wealth building. Wealth building, changing people's lives. Of course, you can't do that without phenomenal products, but retention is the holy grail of network marketing. It is the holy grail. Chandler Shepard is the retention statistician at Young Living. I got some updated stats from him. Did I say that name right? Since he started the proactive retention program at Young Living, this is on top of the 42%, which is just organic and natural. His team of 20 people has saved 37,000 Young Living members from going inactive.
Woo!
And created $4 million worth of business.
Wow.
And that's on top of what is just pure organic and natural in Young Living. And so this is actually what I did before I made my decision. Kimmy made her own decision. but before I made my decision, I did this. I actually got a guy, I said, hey, help me do this, I need to figure this out. And I put together 2 companies, side by side, like model companies. One company, just for sake of the model, had 1,000 distributors, members, whatever, and they're each doing $100 a month. And they're bringing in 100 new people a month. That's the recruiting part of it. And they're retaining 8%. The other company's doing exactly the same thing and they're retaining 40%. Are you with me? You may not be able to read the numbers, but at year 7, the company retaining 8% is doing $764,000 a month in business, and the company retaining 40% is doing $11,620,000 a month in business. And the decision then became totally simple for us because we were leading people down a lonely, dark, dangerous road fraught with people can't hang in for that long. And all we had to do to put them on an e-ticket ride was put them in Young Living, which is what we did. One of the things that showed up for me as I studied Young Living is I have for decades had a vision of, gosh, would the universe, would the network marketing profession, would business in general please deliver us a new role model and leader to the network marketing profession? What do I mean by that? Well, the number 1 company in network marketing globally has been the number 1 network marketing company for the last 50 years. They've held that spot. They're the number 1 network marketing company by a factor of 2. They're twice as big as number 2. And here's the problem with the number 1 company in network marketing now. If you go ask 1,000 people, go ask 10,000, go ask 1,000,000 people, hey, what do you think about network marketing or multi-level marketing or direct selling? You know what they're going to say? Something like, oh, you mean like Amway? Did I say that? Edit it. Right? And what's in their body when they say it? I don't want to do that. Yeah? Why? Well, because of the way they go about building their business. So the vision I've had for 20 or 30 years, I actually had the vision for my company, that my company would be the company that when somebody asks somebody anywhere in the world in the future about network marketing, the prospect, the marketplace, the candidate says, oh, you mean like Young Living.
Yeah.
So here's what I believe. I believe this with every fiber of my body. Kimmy believes this with every fiber of her body. $10 billion a year and the number 1 network marketing company in the world is a dead cinch lock for Young Living. Like, it is going to happen no matter what. And that makes us very proud and very inspired. Here's some ideas on how we're going to get there. And to the extent that I don't dive deep on these, I would suggest you make sure you go to Carla Green's breakout. You go to Kimmy's breakout at 5 o'clock and you learn how to build a team. Because, historically, what Young Living has done has been deeply steeped in the products, which I do not want you to hear. I beg you not to hear. Anything I'm going to say up here is that I'm critical of that. I am not at all. I admire it to the nth degree. It is what has got you here. It is what has got you here with a stellar reputation. It is what makes you a 10-foot tall and bulletproof opportunity. It actually is what allows us to perhaps raise our sights on do more sharing. Whether you call it sharing, I call it recruiting. I know that's a dirty 6-letter word, recruit. I don't care if you call it sharing, recruiting, channeling Gary and Mary Young to your prospects. Whatever you call it, we just need to do more of it. Because probably a pure like 97, 98% of the people in Young Living still today, they don't get the opportunity. They get the products, but they don't get the opportunity. So what we could do to get to 10 billion and get there faster is we could create balance. What do I mean by balance? Simply this. Like if I asked any one of you, hey, I'm tired, I forgot what I was going to say, would you come up here and give me 15, 20 minutes without notes on your favorite Young Living product? What's in it? Where's it come from? What does it do? Why would you use it? How would you use it? And anything you want to do to convince me to use it compliantly, how many of you can do it? Raise your hands, all of you can do it. Your favorite product, of course you could. But what's missing is people, they don't have the same competency and confidence around why build a team. See, there's a distinction between being a passionate customer of the products and sharing the products, whatever that looks like, and intentionally building a team. So if there's one thing I want you to leave here with today is, I'm going to go build a team. I get it. I get the difference. I get the difference between being a passionate product evangelist and being a passionate product evangelist and building a team.
Yeah.
So how do you get there? Well, you just get there by studying as much about the opportunity as you have the products so that you can avoid confirmation bias. One of the things that I want you to leave here with today is a new term that you can Google, and it's one of those cool terms where whenever you're talking to your friends, you can go, oh, it sounds to me like you got confirmation bias. Right? So you get a cool new distinction. Nobody else knows what you're talking about. Smartest person in the room. What is confirmation bias? Confirmation bias is whatever our expertise is, whatever our belief is, whatever our conviction is, whatever our values are, however we see the world, when we get information from the world, we filter it to confirm what we already believe. It's why, in the United States anyway, a liberal, I don't know about up here, but why a liberal can watch the same news broadcast, and at the end of the news broadcast, they can say, see, I told you so, right there, they said it right there. And a conservative can watch the exact same news broadcast, and what they say is, see, I told you so, there it is, right there, said it right there. We only hear what we want to hear, right? So here's the thing, you're talking to somebody about whatever. Maybe you're asking them some questions if you're working your skill set a little bit. And here's the way the conversation goes. Well, yeah, we got 3 kids, and one of them might get a scholarship, but the other 2, not sure how we're going to send them to college. And first thing we got to do is pay off the credit card debt. But, the challenge is that, we're working so hard, we haven't taken a family vacation in, 6 years, and the hot water heater just broke, and so we're all taking cold showers. And my parents are getting up there, and I'm not sure how we're going to take care of them. And, my knee has really been bothering me. And our response is, well, I got an oil for that. This is where legal edited one of my slides. What this slide says people think more about, like in a 24-hour basis. They work more about, that's like going to work, going home. They worry more about, they dream more about income or money or than legal edited out than oils. I don't know why they edited it out. I just put it back in though. Think about it. Everybody that you're ever going to talk to about Young Living, if you could like peek into their mind, you could like watch what they thought about on some kind of screen, that'll probably happen pretty soon, You go through social media, you find somebody, and what shows up on the screen is everything they're thinking about. So you think on a 24-hour basis, a mother of 3, and well, she's a good candidate for Young Living. She's like a mother of 7, and she's number 8's on the way, right? We figured that out real quick. The more kids you have in Young Living, the higher your rank, the more money you make. Family values, right? You think if you tapped into that person's video screen that what you would see them doing all day long is, I wonder if there's an oil for that. Some oil. What do you think they're thinking about? Something connected to money. And yet we don't offer it. Why? Because we're not confident, and we're not confidence. We don't have confidence. So we just let it go, right? So here's what I found, is people can give you all kinds of reasons, including you. Like, it's awesome that you're here. Hats off, standing ovation to all of you that are here. Big, huge, courageous decision. Because sooner or later, if you keep going to events, all the light's going to come on, you're going to start building a team. And that's what needs to happen, is everybody needs to build a team. And when everybody starts building a team, this thing's going to explode, really explode, without a lot of the company trying to make it explode. It's just going to go viral. And I'm not suggesting it's not already viral. It is. It's crazy successful already. But you heard Ben, you saw Ben's statistics, 0.4% of people in Canada are Young Living distributors. And I can imagine a neighborhood where at least it's 1 out of 10, right? So here's when people start to light it up. Here's when people go from being a prospect to a Young Living member, and then they go from being a Young Living member to a Young Living member who's decided to build a team, when they understand that the work is worth it. What's the work? Work, sharing stories, having classes. But the real work, worth it, is asset income. What is asset income? That's distinct from earned income. If you wonder why people aren't lighting it up when you say, hey, I got an opportunity to earn some extra money, it's because they can earn some extra money doing what they already do. They could go to work at Tom Hortons, is that it? Tom Hortons? I got Mexicans, I'm sorry. Get my words mixed up sometimes. I don't even know what country I'm in. I'm surprised Ben Riley can even say 3 sentences that make sense together to Canadians without thinking he's in Cambodia or the Philippines or someplace. I don't know how he does it. But, yeah. So, and I don't even remember what I started. Oh, yeah. So, here's the thing. People can go make another $500 a month or $1,000 a month working at Tom Hortons or whatever it is, or in the United States, Walmart, or they can make $500 a month doing 1,000 things. How come they're not doing it? Why don't they have 2 or 3 jobs? Because that's grinder income. That's the same kind of income they grind all day for now. It's no fun. They don't want to do that. They'd rather be home with their kids, right? That's why they don't respond to, hey, I got an opportunity for making extra money. No big deal. What you want to ask somebody is, hey, what if you worked on something? What if you worked on a project for 3 or 4 years, and the project paid you $1,000, $1,500 a month, and then you got paid the $1,000, $1,500 a month for the rest of your life? Not only the rest of your life, what about if your kids got the $1,000 a month for the rest of their lives? Paint a different picture, different value. That's how you light people up to do this. How are we going to get to $1 billion? Oh, Ted's supposed to say 10 billion. I think $1 billion was a year and a half ago. How are we going to get to 10 billion? We're going to recruit our way there. Here's a simple model. I figured out, through my own analysis, which is probably not completely accurate, it's a guess, that there are about 1 million active distributors in Young Living worldwide now. I know there's probably 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 million in some kind of category, but there's about 1 million. How do I know that? Well, the average Young Living member does about $40 a month in PV. So if you take that times 12 months, that's $1,680 a year in sales, times 1 million people, 1,680,000,000 in sales. Kind of feels like might be on track, maybe even a little low for where we're at. Does it make sense we might have 1 million people? How do we get to 10 billion? 1 million each enroll 2 for a total of 3, and each of the 3 enroll 2 for a total of 6. Got that math? That's how we're going to get to 10 billion, just shy of 6 million people. How you get there is recruit. I know you don't like that word. By the way, the 1 million people that we have now, the 1.5 billion we have now, here's an analogy I want you to think about. Those 1 million people, guess whose sales team that is? I know, probably your first response is that's Young Living. You can think of it that way. That's kind of a disempowering way to think of it. I'll tell you how I think of it. It's Gary and Mary's sales organization. I wonder what rank that is. You have 1 million people on your team and you're doing $1.7 billion a year or $2 billion a year, right? It's their sales team. So, I'm skipping because this is Kimmy's worst nightmare is if I skip slides, but I talk too long. So here's like perspective for you to like get in your head, okay? So by the way, how many of you would like for Young Living to become the reigning heir of the direct selling profession? Have you noticed though that the universe does not move in accordance to what you and I want? That doesn't make any difference at all. So it's nice that you want it. How many of you are willing to commit to making it happen? So no matter how you thought about how Mary and Gary built Young Living, I just want you to imagine, visualize following them around for the last 25 years. Just follow them around for the last 25 years and listen to their conversations. Were they evangelists for the product?
Yes.
Yes. Do you think Gary and Mary ever suggested to anyone they were talking to product about that they also might want to be a member?
Yes.
Do you think once they become a member, Gary and Mary ever suggested the possibility or cast the vision of, hey, what do you think about maybe recruiting someone? Now, they may not have used that word, but here's the perspective I want you to get, folks. This is like, there's a disconnect. And it's a powerful disconnect. I'll end with a story about how powerful a disconnect it is. But you got 2 people that spent the last 25 years building a sales organization of 1 million people doing almost $2 billion a year. And they're not any different than you and I. Like, if they did it, you can do it. And here's what I want you to think about every morning. This is an assignment for you. I want you to think about this every morning. Every morning, I want you to visualize that Gary and Mary are in your kitchen. In your kitchen. Put it on your vision board. They're in your kitchen, and they're having coffee with you. Every morning. At least 6 days a week. Did I say coffee? I lost my mind. I was totally lost my mind. You know what, Brooke? You got 3 minutes and 12 seconds to go. You made it all the way, and then you totally botched it. Tea. You're having tea with Mary and Gary. You're having sleep. You're having ninja. You're having all of that. You're having that. Yeah, I know. The only slide I get now is this giant. We've got 2 minutes left. So I want you to imagine that you're having tea, you're having ginger red, you're having those products with Gary and Mary, and what Gary and Mary ask you every morning is, so Emily, who are we going to talk to today? What are you going to do today? What are you going to do this week? What are you going to do this month? I just want you to imagine that. I want you to imagine that you are partnered up with this couple, and they're with you every day, and they're talking to you about what they did, and they're encouraging you to do the same thing. Can you do that?
Yeah.
I'm going to make you a solemn promise that if you'll do that for even 30 seconds every morning, it'll dramatically change what you do that day. It'll dramatically change what you do that month and that week. I'll tell you about this some other time. Kimmy's dying over there. She's just like dying. Here's some irony for you. You know, this is back to the breadcrumbs. So in I'm going to say 89, could have been 90, can't remember exactly. The top distributor in my company came to me. I was living in Spokane, Washington. My company was based in Spokane, Washington. He came to me and he said, hey, Richard, I know this guy who wants to start this network marketing company. And, you know, would you be willing to talk to him and give him some insight about, how to do that or if he should do it? And, by this time, so I think, 1990, I'd already been full-time for, 12 years, made a lot of money, owned my own company. So somebody comes to me and says, hey, Brooke, you want to give me some advice? Sure. Right? So I go over to this home with Roland, my top distributor. We go over to this home in the Spokane Valley and meet this gentleman. And, he's got ideas about starting a network marketing company. I asked him, why do you want to start a network? Because I got this product, I got these products, and it's the best way to get them out in the world. And of course, confirmation bias. I'm asking him questions and I'm listening to his answers through the filter. And my filter was, well, you need about $10 million cash. And you need to be you need a $2,000 three-piece suit. And you need to be driving a Mercedes. And this was an old model, but this is the way I saw things. And, you need a lot of money, you need a team, you need to know what you're doing, you need to have some experience. And he didn't have any of that. And so for me, I kind of imagine it's like, I wonder how I would have sized up Steve Jobs in 1987 or 88. What I didn't realize is I was in the kitchen. I was sitting in the kitchen. I was in the presence of genius. And at the end of that meeting, I told this guy, who I didn't know, didn't have the Mercedes, he didn't have the three-piece suit, he didn't have any money. He had a big dream. I told him I didn't think it was a good idea. Sometimes when I tell that story, I laugh about it. Sometimes when I think about it, I want to cry. I'm not kidding. I told him I didn't think it was a good idea. It was Gary Young. I was in the presence of genius. He did it anyway.
Woo!
Probably don't think that words paint the picture. Words cast the vision. Words are the architect of belief. Could I get you all to stand up for me? I know, ain't about everybody else standing up. Is he going to make me meet my neighbor and share my own personal? I want you to go find somebody in the room you've never met before and give them a big hug and tell them how much you love them. No, I'm kidding. Stop. Mary, I can't see anything. Is Mary here? Yep, she's in the back. Okay. So my request is that we speak to them, especially to Gary, who might be harder for him to hear. So my request is that we speak in a way that he can hear us. Right? And here's what I want us to say, and we're going to say it 2 or 3 times until he can hear us. We're going to say, Gary and Mary did this. We're going to say, I can do this. We're going to say, I will do this. We're going to say, I am doing this. We're going to say, we are doing this. And we're going to say, done. You got it? So that Gary can hear us. 1, 2, 3. Gary and Mary did this. I can do this. I am doing this. We are doing this. Done.
We are doing this. Done.
Okay, stop. I don't know. Gary's in a field. He's picking something. He's hunting. He's watching. He did not hear us. Again, Gary and Mary did this. I can do this. I